Ever wonder what happens when entitled customers try to scam restaurants? I've got 3 stories today that'll make you want to stand up and cheer. From a woman who faked a deadly allergy for free food and got hit with a huge bill, a 20-person group that learned the hard way you should always tip your server, and a dine-and-dash couple who got arrested and went viral. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for these stories. Story 1 is titled, She Faked an Allergy and Paid for It. I worked as a server at an upscale Italian restaurant, and we took allergies very seriously. Like shut down the kitchen line and sterilize everything serious. One night, this couple comes in. I'll call them Allergy Annie and boyfriend Brad. Right off the bat, Annie announces, I have a severe life-threatening allergy to tomatoes. Like, even if a molecule touches my food, I could die. So we go into full allergy protocol. I alert the chef, the kitchen staff, the manager, everyone. They shut down 2 stations and sterilize everything. They prepare to make her food in a completely isolated prep area. This is like a 20-minute process that basically stops service. Annie orders the fettuccine alfredo, no tomato products, and makes a big show of telling me how serious her allergy is. I carry 3 EpiPens, she says loudly, making sure other tables can hear. I've been hospitalized 6 times. Meanwhile, boyfriend Brad looks uncomfortable and says nothing. I bring out their food. Everything is perfect, isolated and safe. Annie takes a few bites and suddenly says, actually, this is bland. Can I get some marinara sauce on the side? What? Ma'am, marinara sauce is made from tomatoes. You said you have a severe tomato allergy. Oh, well, it's not that severe. Maybe just a little sauce? Y'all, my brain broke. This woman just made us shut down half the kitchen. Now she wants tomato sauce? I get my manager. He comes over very professionally and says, Ma'am, to clarify, do you or do you not have a tomato allergy? Annie gets defensive. I mean, tomatoes make me a little bloated sometimes, so basically yes, it's an allergy. But cooked tomatoes are fine. That's not how allergies work. My manager's still very professional. Ma'am, you told us you carry 3 EpiPens and have been hospitalized. We shut down our kitchen and followed life-threatening allergy protocols. This cost us significant time and impacted other customer service. Well, I was just being cautious. Better safe than sorry. Here's where it gets good. Our head chef, Giovanni, a 6'4" Italian man who does not play games, comes out from the kitchen. He's still wearing his apron and hat. In his thick Italian accent, Susie, you tell us you die from tomato. Now you want marinara? You make my staff stop everything, clean everything. We make everyone wait, and you lie? And he tries to backtrack. I didn't lie. It's a sensitivity. Giovanni looks at boyfriend Brad. You let her do this? Brad finally speaks up. Dude, I told her not to. She does this at every restaurant we go to get attention and free stuff. Excuse me? It's a scam? Giovanni nods. Okay, I see. He goes back to the kitchen. 5 minutes later, he comes back out with a manager and a printed piece of paper. It's an itemized bill for the extra labor, kitchen shutdown, and service impact. $450. You lie about allergy. You waste my time. You waste my staff time. You make other people wait. You pay this or I call police for fraud. And he loses it. You can't charge me that. That's not legal. The manager calmly explained. Actually, falsely claiming a life-threatening allergy that causes a business to take emergency protocols can be considered fraud. You also disrupted service for other paying customers. You can pay this fee or we can discuss it with the police. Other diners are watching now. One table starts laughing. Brad throws down his credit card. Pay it, Annie. This is embarrassing. But wait, there's more. Brad's card declined. Annie's card declined. They have to call Brad's mom to pay over the phone. His mom, y'all. while other diners watched. Giovanni, before he left, "You are banned. Do not come back. Next time, don't lie about allergy. Some people really die." As they're leaving, a woman from another table stops them. "I'm actually severely allergic to shellfish. And because of people like you who fake allergies, sometimes restaurants don't take us seriously. You really could kill someone." Annie literally ran out of the restaurant in tears. Here's the best part. Brad came back into the restaurant alone the next week. He apologized profusely and left a $200 tip for the kitchen staff. He told us he broke up with Annie that night because he couldn't take the embarrassment anymore. I have been in a restaurant where somebody's acting a fool like this. Brad's right. It is embarrassing. You're basically sitting there hoping it's going to be over, either laughing or if you have the unfortunate problem of being in the group with the person acting stupid, you either wish you had a Harry Potter invisibility cloak, maybe you're trying to shrink so you could get smaller, or just thinking, how quick can I get out of here so I never have to see this person again? Story 2 brings back memories of when I was in a restaurant and I witnessed a big group try to avoid paying a fair tip to a server. I used to work at a busy chain restaurant as a server. One Friday night, a group of about 20 people comes in without a reservation. It's peak hours, but we managed to push some tables together for them. From the start, they were difficult. Ordering took 45 minutes because everyone kept changing their minds. Multiple people sent their food back for ridiculous reasons. "This chicken is too chickeny." Actual quote. They let their kids run wild through the restaurant. But the real nightmare started when it was time to pay. The ringleader, I'll call her Split Check Sally, or SCS. She says, "We need separate checks. Everyone's paying for their own." Okay, annoying but doable. I started asking who had what. "Actually," SCS says, "we need you to split it by exactly what each person ordered, including individual appetizers, and we shared some items, so those need to be split but not evenly, because some people had more than others." This went on for 20 minutes. People were arguing about who had how many mozzarella sticks. The bill was around $600 total, and they wanted to split it into 20 different checks with various items split in different percentages. I finally managed to get it done and bring out all 20 checks. Every single person forgot their wallet or only had their card or thought someone else was paying. After another 30 minutes of sorting out payment methods, we finally got everyone paid. Total tip from the entire 20-person party, $12 on a $600 bill. That's 2%. I was livid but couldn't show it. They finally left after occupying my entire section for 3 hours during our busiest night. So here's where karma kicks in. They left behind a phone, a purse, and someone's keys. So SCS calls back the restaurant. "We left some items. Can you hold them? We're coming back." My manager takes the call. "Of course," he says sweetly. "Just so you know, we have a policy. Items left behind that are stored in our lost and found have a $50 per item retrieval fee that comes along with it for parties that didn't tip properly." "What? You can't do that." "Actually, I just made it up right now, but you can pay it or you can leave your stuff here for 30 days per state law, at that point which it becomes property of the restaurant." Silence. "Or," my manager continues, "you can come back and pay your server the 18% gratuity that's standard for parties over 8 people, which would be about $108, and I'll waive the retrieval fee." More silence. SCS huffs. "Fine, we're coming back." They come back. All 20 of them walk in looking furious. SCS handed me $110 in cash, grabbed their stuff, and stormed out without a word. But here's the best part. One of their kids in the group left a Nintendo Switch. When they came back to get it, my manager made them wait 20 minutes before bringing it out. We had to find it in the back. The same amount of time they made me wait to figure out their ridiculous split check. And one of the women in that group, she was so embarrassed by the whole thing that she came back the next day to apologize to me personally and gave me an additional $50 tip. She said, "I'm so sorry. I tried to tell them to tip properly, but they just wouldn't listen. That was so humiliating." The manager also spread the word to other restaurants in the area about that group. Restaurant managers talk to each other. Next time they tried to pull the same stunt at another restaurant, that manager coincidentally had a mandatory 20% gratuity policy for all parties over 10 people. The goal of this channel is to be a respite from the outside world, so we try not to do politics or anything like that. But when people go into restaurants and don't tip servers, you are so being unfair. The rules are set up so people that work in restaurants can't even make minimum wage. So until we change the laws, the least you can do is give them a fair tip because they're getting ripped off at their job. End of sermon. On to our final story of the day. Story 3 is proof that crime doesn't pay and can get you a lot of unwanted attention. Titled, "Worst Dine-and-Dash Attempt Ever." This happened at a casual dining restaurant where I worked as a server. A young couple comes in, probably their early 20s, and I'll call them Dine-and-Dash Dylan and getaway girlfriend Gina. Right from the start, they were acting weird. They kept looking around nervously, sat near the exit, and asked where the bathroom location was before even ordering anything. They ordered a ton of food, appetizers, entrees, desserts, drinks, easily a $150 bill, and they ate everything. And I mean, they cleared every plate. When I bring the check, I set it on the table and go to help another customer. I glance over and see them whispering to each other. Then Dylan gets up and heads towards the bathroom. 30 seconds later, Gina stands up and starts walking towards the door. Oh, hell no. I've seen this before. I quickly walk over to the host stand and quietly alert my manager and the host. Table 12, I think they're about to dash. My manager positions himself near the door, pretending to look at the reservation book. Gina pushes the door open and bolts, like full sprint down the sidewalk. Dylan comes out of the bathroom and sees her running. He starts heading for the door too. My manager steps in front of him and says, "Excuse me, sir, but your check hasn't been paid." My girlfriend has the money. She must have paid already." "No, sir, she ran out the door without paying, which means you either pay us now or we call the police." Dylan's face goes white. I don't have my wallet. She has all the money. Convenient. So you planned this, huh? At this point, other diners are staring. One of them says, "I kid you not, dude, I saw you both looking at the door the whole time. You were so planning this." My manager pulls out his phone. "I'm calling the police now." Dylan panics. Wait, I'll call her. She'll come back with the money." He calls Gina. We can hear her answer. "Did you get away?" "Gina, they caught me. You need to come back." "What?" "No way. You're on your own." She hung up on him. His own girlfriend just abandoned him right there. The look on his face was between a mix of betrayal, panic, and the realization he'd been a huge idiot. The police show up pretty quickly to the restaurant. The restaurant is near the station, and they're talking to Dylan. Guess who walks by the restaurant window? Gina. She's apparently circled back to get their car from the parking lot. One of the officers sees her and steps outside. "Ma'am, are you with this gentleman?" Gina tries to play dumb. "What? I don't know that guy." The officer said, "That's interesting because we have you on video from inside showing you eating together. And he just called you and you answered." Cold busted. They bring Gina inside and now they're both in trouble. Here's where it gets hilarious. As the police are sorting things out, it turns out Dylan had his wallet the whole time. It was in his car. He just forgot because he thought he was going to get away with it. The police make him go get his wallet from his car with a police escort. He pays the bill plus a mandatory 20% gratuity, officer's orders, plus he got charged with theft of services. But wait, there's more. When the police go to check Dylan's ID to write up citations, it turns out he has outstanding warrants for, wait for it, shoplifting and a previous dine-and-dash in another county. So Dylan gets arrested on the spot. Gina also gets charged with theft of services and conspiracy. The best part? One of the other diners recorded the whole thing and it went viral on local social media. The restaurant got flooded with reviews praising the manager for catching them. Oh, and the car? It was parked in a 30-minute loading zone. By the time Dylan got arrested and everything was sorted out, he'd been there for 2 hours. He came back to find his car had been towed. So Dylan and Gina's attempted $150 dine-and-dash cost them the original $180 with forced gratuity, court fees, potential jail time, going viral, and a $300 towing fee. That's one heck of an expensive date. I bet they never saw each other again. I'd like to take this time to apologize to any Italians or people of Italian descent for my crappy accent. I probably just sounded like Mario from the Mario games. I'm still working on the accent thing for voiceover, one day at a time. I hope you enjoyed these restaurant karma stories. If watching people get exactly what they deserve is your thing, we've got a whole playlist. YouTube is showing you on the screen right now. We've got a love scammer who scammed the wrong woman. We've got a story where a neighbor wouldn't pick up after their dog, so she gets a shower. You can totally get your fill of people getting exactly what they deserve. I'll see you there.